Man, it is a great sound when all three are running at the same time. I have these two presses running black and white job that I would be running on the 1200, but for some reason the waste toner bottle is telling me it's always full. So I don't know if there's a sensor problem there or a wiring problem. I gotta dive into that a little bit later. But the good thing is two of these running at the same time is right about the same speed as the 1200. So we're still getting work done. Okay, let's get back at this. So, machine tells me that the waste toner container is full, and it is not. So I had cleaned that sensor off, and still, you know, if I close it up, then we're good, until I print like 2 sheets and then it'll stop again. So I'm assuming that means I either have a bad sensor or the wiring from that sensor to the board is bad, or there's a problem there. So I guess what I'll do is I'll find the location of the connector on the board and test that. The way these sensors work, there's 3 wires. One is 5 volts, one is a ground, and the other one is your signal. So I guess I'm just gonna test, well, actually, I could test it here at the sensor. Let's do that first. Okay, so you're gonna have to put your meter on DC, direct current, since that's what these electronics operate off of. All right, so one of these should have 5 volts on it. All right, that one. The middle one has 5 volts. So then I'm going to switch over to continuity here and test both outside wires. Okay, so that's the signal and that's the ground. So that tells me it's a bad sensor. There's signal, or I'm sorry, there's 5 volts to the center wire. There's ground on the other wire. I'm assuming that signal wire is good. I don't think there's a way I can test this. But I'd be willing to bet this is my problem. So I'm gonna order one, but meanwhile, I'm gonna think a little bit and see what I can do to keep this thing running until I get a sensor here. Alrighty, here's the schematic of the sensors for the waste toner here. And I was just looking, this is the sensor that I was looking at, the PS37 waste toner full sensor 1, and I got to thinking, I mean, I only know of one sensor in there, but why would they label it 1? And then as I was looking around here, there's another waste toner full sensor here, waste toner full sensor 2. Which I have no idea where that is because there is only one sensor on that waste toner box. But I see it is called PS62. So then I can go back into the parts manual and let's search for sensor PS62. So I put in the parts manual here and I searched for PS62, and right here it is, another photo sensor. And it looks to me like it's on the back of the machine. Like I said earlier, with the sensor out front here, the first thing I do when a sensor is malfunctioning is clean it. So let's pull that panel off the back, find that sensor, and try and blow it off. I wouldn't be surprised if it's dirty. It usually gets pretty dirty back there. Okay. So here is the main control board, which is the schematic I was looking at with the different connectors. Works. Nice. I have no idea why there would be two sensors for toner full. I mean, I guess it looks like the sensor in the back is a sensor on the auger that drives the toner out. So possibly that's to detect if the auger's jammed and doesn't turn. But then you should label that as a different sensor, right? I'm pretty sure that's fixed, because it didn't do that before. Time will tell. I'll get this stuff cleaned up and... ugh. But that's good. I think more times than not, there's a simple fix for a lot of the problems. Pretty much cleaning something or oiling something. If it's a wear item, it might need to be replaced. This was gonna end up being way too short of a video. I got more fun stuff to show you. See here, the corona wires on here are about like 120, 130%. Yesterday, I cleaned them and it got better for that job, but here, I think it's just time to replace. So I'm gonna replace those, and then I'm gonna show you what I'm collating. I'm doing a corner stitch there. That's kind of fun. I don't do that all the time. New set of wires makes such a huge difference. Got all these lines in here, no more. Which is kind of crazy, because the last job that I ran on here that I'm going to be corner stitching, it looked fine, but it's probably really only the black wire that needed to be replaced, but do them all. Now we're going to be good for a little bit. Okay, that looks good. So on to corner stapling stuff. This was the really light blue that was printing fine earlier, but I have 3 different corner stitched jobs. So I typically do a corner stitch inline, but I feel like more times than not people want full bleed, in which case I have to print it, take it offline, and do the corner stitching on the collator, which is pretty easy to set up. So I already have it set up, but I'll show you what you do to set this up. You just do a preset. You do 8.5 by 11, and then what you have to do is do all these things, put the guides in, and hit OK. It'll automatically all go to the right spot. Then what you want to do, you're going to need to put in the side stitch plate here. You can turn off the lower stitch because you don't want it stitched twice, you just want it stitched up at the top corner. And put in your 2 guides and these guides along the bottom. That's all you do on this side. What I do over here is take this stitch block out, and you have to do it when the stitch heads are inside into the center here. But you take that block out so that the mechanism doesn't go down. Because if the mechanism goes down, even though there's no staple there, it'll still create a mark on your piece. So take that out, and then you'll be good. And then for the rest, it's all automatic. It'll bypass the fold, go right across the top here. It bypasses the cutter, and then stacks out at the back here. Corner stitching is why this will run out unevenly. I'm almost out on this side, but not that side. Drives me nuts. I have found out with this new cutter now that it's programmable that I'm a snob. And I don't even feel like cutting stuff down unless I put a program in and can just do it automatically. Oops. That was quick. Now I have a booklet job, so I'm going to take this stuff out of here quick and switch back over to booklets. I was just going to do a time lapse of me cutting this down, but I was like, I need to show you how awesome air tables are. Check this out. That's so much fun. That was fun. Got a lot of stuff to do tomorrow. I'm gonna be printing the guts for all those envelopes I printed earlier. So call it a day. See you next time.